And the ticket tonight has the name of either Northern Iowa or Louisville. Aaron Powers, Anna DeBeer of the Louisville Cardinals team back to serve to get this second round match underway. Northern Iowa in the darker uniforms, purple, and Louisville in the whites. And Kara Cressy, Louisville's middle blocker, with the first kill of the match.
And look for Louisville to try to establish the middle early with their size difference in the middle.
DeBeer, who yesterday had 7 kills and 5 digs for the Cardinals, commits a service error here to give a point back to Northern Iowa. Very balanced attack yesterday for Louisville offensively. We highlighted their defensive performance, but DeBeer, one of the leading attacking options, but didn't need to explode for big numbers yesterday in Louisville's sweep of Chicago State. A block for Northern Iowa. It's Casey Rewerts.
And Rewerts with a solo block. We talked already about Louisville having the size advantage in the middle, but Rewerts waited and jumped into the cross.
Rewerts with 7 blocks in the victory over Illinois yesterday. The active leader in blocks in the nation. Back and forth we go in this opening set. The point back to Louisville. Charity Looper off the block. Danny Busboom-Kelly looking for career win number 200. Also looking to lead this team back to the regional semifinals. And of course, Louisville has the unique distinction this year of being able to win the national title on their home floor. As you see Anna DeBeer lay out for that pancake defensively for the Cardinals. A point to Northern Iowa.
And good option there from Northern Iowa. They run a 6-2, so they have 3 hitters in the front row at any time, but that was also Hartman out of the back row, giving them a 4th option swinging.
You had to look there at Sydney Golden, the setter who had 23 assists yesterday. Hartman's first kill of this evening's action. She had 21 yesterday. An outstanding performance for the sophomore. Bobby Peterson, the head coach for Northern Iowa, 2024 Missouri Valley Coach of the Year. 3rd straight season in which she has brought home that honor for this team that has gone undefeated in conference play each of the last 2 years. They dropped just 6 sets in Missouri Valley Conference play all season in 2024. The swing for the Panthers from Olivia Chernigal, who hit an outstanding .476 yesterday.
And I love the variety in UNI's offense so far. They've taken swings from back row, right, left, and middle already, and we're only 7 points into the first set.
Reese Booth, the freshman setter from Omaha, 19 assists yesterday in the win over Illinois. Sophia Maldonado-Diaz for Louisville with the swing. And then with the block. Maldonado-Diaz, the senior transfer from Arizona, tied for the team lead yesterday with 9 kills. Also had 4 blocks. And now Charity Looper, an all-ACC performer this year. There's Elena Scott getting behind that ball, drawing some oohs and ahs from the Louisville crowd. And Anna DeBeer to finish off the point for Louisville to restore a 1-point lead for the Cardinals. Anna DeBeer this season for Louisville, first team all-ACC. Has been called the safety blanket by her head coach, Danny Busboom-Kelly, because she is the player that the Cardinals turn to when they need a point. They get an ace here from Charity Looper to add a 2nd point to their cushion.
And not only is Anna a safety blanket, she tends to have a 2nd level. Charity Looper can be the same way, can really come and step up when the Cardinals need a big play.
Looper and Scott and then DeBeer defensively for Louisville to deny Dykstra the point. But Dykstra will get it here off the hands of Maldonado-Diaz.
Great play by Dykstra on a tight ball. She got her feet to the net so that she could jump straight up and down and was able to play the ball high off the Louisville block.
Dykstra, the sophomore from Urbandale, Iowa, second team All-Missouri Valley this year. Maldonado Diaz has been the frequent option for Louisville, and it's a block for UNI. Just like Louisville, they had double-digit blocks yesterday in their victory over Illinois.
And this is a serve receive where Louisville likes to run Maldonado Diaz on a 2-ball out of the middle of the court. But this is where the fact that UNI has seen a lot of Louisville volleyball over the season could have come into play with setting them up for that double block.
Yeah, indeed. Bobby Peterson said that she's seen a lot of Louisville this year. That's because one of her daughters plays for Louisville. Peyton Peterson is a freshman outside hitter for the Cardinals. So she's made multiple trips here to Louisville to watch this Louisville team in person. Kara Cressy, the block for the Cardinals.
And again, UNI doing a good job trying to establish all of their hitters. You see Sellner there going for a little bit of a gap ball, and Cressy's able to shut it down.
Kara Cressy's such a part, as Louisville commits a service error, such a part of Louisville's improvement in the block category. After last year, they fell below 60 in terms of national rankings in blocks per set. She's improved her production in that area, and Louisville as a team has significantly improved their production in that area as well. What a first set right now in this second round match. Northern Iowa punch for punch with the #1 seed Louisville Cardinals. But you would expect nothing less from this team, Steph.
It's early in the match. I did expect some longer rallies, a little bit more defensive, but I think both teams are kind of feeling each other out at the moment.
Rewerts just unable to get her hand behind that ball to direct it toward Louisville's half. And a break for the Cardinals. Maldonado Diaz yesterday, Danny Busboom Kelly, her head coach, said that she was feeling it out there. Terrific effort there by Cassidy Hartman to get to the floor, and UNI reaps the reward.
And I love that Ballards took a swing on that ball. It was by no means in system. It wasn't even a back row attack, but she was able to be as aggressive as she could be and found a point. That's one thing Bobby Peterson mentioned yesterday in their press conference, is that in games like this, every point counts. In practice, sometimes you give 2 points for something special, something like that, but in a game like this, you'll take the sloppy points.
And to that point that Coach Peterson made, it speaks to the unflappability of this UNI team. Cool, composed, confident, even when points go against them, as that one just did on the service error. This team knows to reset their minds before every single rally. Look at Elena Scott. Can Louisville get it over? They can from Glock, but Elena Scott, arguably the best libero in the country, shows you why right there. Here's Charity Looper. Chernigal for UNI. Well, UNI, this Northern Iowa team, perennial winners out of the Missouri Valley Conference. But the first time that they defeated a team out of the Big Ten in the NCAA tournament since way back in 2001. And on that note, if UNI were able to upset Louisville today in advance, it would be their first trip to the regional semifinal since 2002. Kara Cressy, the touch for Louisville that does the trick for the Cardinals.
And you composure and the determination of this UNI team, I think that's what got them the win yesterday, and that's what keeps them in these long rallies. We just saw after a huge Elena Scott hustle play, they maintained their composure and were able to finish that rally in their favor.
And perhaps some of that composure comes because they are very familiar with this building and also this opponent in Louisville. They played in the Cardinal Classic back in September, played 3 matches on this court against the likes of seed in the tournament. So they've been tested in this arena already this year. And a great rally happening right now between these two sides. Here's Looper. Powers underneath it. Fallert. Scott gets a hand, and the crowd very much engaged right now.
These are the rallies I expect to see tonight.
Two top quality teams going at it. And the point goes to Louisville on an attack error from UNI. But what a rally.
And we talked about the defense behind the block. Ellie Glock with a phenomenal dig, and Elena Scott just selling out, putting her body in front of the ball.
Elena Scott didn't need to sell out quite as often last night, just 13 digs for her. But this is all-American quality stuff from the AVC National Player of the Year semifinalist. And Louisville has opened up a 3-point lead on that block from PK.
And I can't stress enough that the solid blocking is the first step in making the defense possible. Great touch there from PK.
PK. Now Looper. Fallert the swing. Off the block for the Louisville point. And Northern Iowa is going to take a timeout. Louisville by 4. We were speaking about the familiarity between these two sides. Obviously, the familial connection between Bobby Peterson and her daughter Peyton Peterson. But they've also faced one another back on September 14th. It was a sweep for Louisville, but they surely got a test from this composed, veteran, experienced Northern Iowa team.
And I think this Northern Iowa team has improved since then, especially defensively. And I think these long rallies that we've seen so far have proven that. It's just going to be a matter if they can finish the rallies when they get there.
You see those first two sets, just a 2-point margin in either of them. And the statistics that were highlighted at the bottom of that graphic, UNI with 5 aces in that one to Louisville's 1, but Louisville with an 11-3 blocking advantage. But if that is the precedent for this NCAA tournament matchup, Steph, we are going to be in for a good one, even if it were to finish, say, in a sweep. These two teams are already going punch for punch with each other.
Yes, I'm loving the intensity.
The intensity showing up there for the Panthers. Chernigal with the block.
And the last swing Looper had, she was able to go off the block. You see on this one that Selner and Chernigal are really pushing to finish into the middle of the court.
Aaron Powers, the Co-Missouri Valley Libero of the Year, back to serve. Chernigal the swing. Scott once again acrobatically. Fowler. DeBeer. Off the block.
And Louisville looking for different ways to score. Anna DeBeer out of the back row is not a play that they use often, but it's deadly when they do.
Outstanding defensive play from both of these teams so far in set 1. As Nialise Cabello, the ACC's Freshman of the Year, serves for the Cardinals. And that swing from Chernigal was in.
Great high swing, not totally lined, kind of to that middle back in that gap between the defender and 5 and 6. Great accuracy from Chernigal.
Chernigal yesterday with 13 kills. On that, again, outstanding hitting percentage of .476. Louisville out of sorts, but they're just going to be able to get this over. Free ball for UNI here. Fowler. PK. Makota behind that one defensively for the Panthers. And Dykstra off the block of Maldonado Diaz. Well, there's a look at Reese Booth on the right. Freshman setter for Northern Iowa. And her mother, Kirsten Bernthal Booth, who just saw her Creighton Blue Jays sweep Ole Miss last night in Omaha, made the trip here to Louisville to watch her daughter play in the NCAA tournament. Looper, This time on the right side for the Cardinals. But we talked about the familial ties between the Petersons. Speaking of coaches' daughters, you have another one on the floor for UNI and Reese Booth.
I think it's so cool that KBB was able to travel here and see Reese play. She had a great game last night. This is a huge match for UNI. Her daughter being a freshman, I'm so glad for her that the timing worked out and she gets to be a mom for a day and then focus on her next matchup with Creighton.
That smile says it all. I would imagine it's not often these days that she gets to watch a volleyball match without having to analyze it or coach it or pick it apart.
I'm still sure that she's watching it with the coach's lens. You know, it's hard to just watch it as a mom. She probably has some suggestions for both sides.
Reese Booth, who had 19 assists yesterday, finished the season with 527 assists as a true freshman. Dykstra for the Panthers to pull to within one.
And this is a great set from Booth. She's moving forward. She reverses the flow of the game and gets the ball all the way out to the pin for Dykstra to be able to hit off the block.
Caitlin Selner back to serve. And it's a service error from Selner to give the point back to Louisville. Much like the first matchup that we just spoke about, Steph. Just a couple of points separating these two teams. And if UNI wants to pull off this upset of the #1 seed, mistakes really can't happen. It has to be clean from both of these teams. That was sensational from Erin Powers. She bump sets to Dykstra, who's errant with the right hand. But we are seeing both teams lay it all out on the line. High stakes NCAA tournament action. Their seasons are on the line. And that is playing out before us.
There is not a play that has gone by tonight without a body hitting the floor, without a lot of hustle and energy. There's another one from Dykstra.
But the point goes to Louisville on an attack error. To that point, Cassidy Hartman yesterday in the press conference mentioned that that's the mentality of this UNI team. They will not let a ball die without somebody at least going after it. But right now, mistakes, attack errors and service errors making the difference in giving Louisville a 4-point cushion. The Cardinals on a 3-0 run.
Yep, I think the energy is definitely here, but it's going to be the polished precision that wins tonight.
The Louisville Cardinals, a sweep of Chicago State yesterday in their first round NCAA tournament matchup. They got out to a 5-0 start in the very first set and really didn't look back yesterday, Steph.
Yeah, UNI definitely had a tougher matchup last night against Illinois, but that's based on the seeding. Chicago State, first time in the tournament, put up a good effort, but Louisville was able to control the match the whole time.
So a sweep for the Cardinals in comfortable fashion. This is their 33rd NCAA tournament appearance. That is more than any other team in their current league, the ACC, for a program that has bounced from league to league down the years. But they're looking to replicate the run that 2022 team was able to make, going all the way to the NCAA title game, where they ultimately fell. And of course, as we mentioned, they have the luxury, or perhaps not a luxury, in the words of Danny Busboom-Kelly, who alluded to the fact that there is pressure on this team because the national semifinal and national championship game will be hosted in this building. Everybody in this city has been talking about it, she says, for 6 months, probably for a full year in all reality. And that's part of the management of this Louisville team, is making sure their mentality is right for each of these NCAA tournament games, not letting the opportunity that is hosting the NCAA title game get too big for them in their heads. Right now, Louisville clicking on all cylinders, both offensively and defensively. Anna DeVere, the swing for the kill.
And I think the home court advantage is a big deal when the crowd is behind you, but you're right, it can put that little bit of extra pressure. There was some big pressure on if they could get that #1 seed with their last weekend of the season being challenging with the Pitt and Stanford matchups, and they lost both of those battles ultimately, and that could have put the #1 seed at risk. They were able to get it. That was a bit of a relief, and now it was time to refocus and focus on the big picture.
Dykstra the kill for the Panthers. She's got 3 as she heads to the bench. That little commercial break during the selection show on ESPN certainly didn't help that anxiety, I would imagine, for Danny Busboom Kelly and company. But the relief was palpable on the other side of that break. Look at DeBeer flying, but she goes across the line. I've said it, but I'll say it again. Both teams, maximum effort right now.
And the Panthers doing a great job of serving float serves that are very low to the top of the net and just dropping as they get on the Louisville side.
UNI needs a run right now to keep this set in the balance. Kara Cressy trying to put an end to a UNI run, but she can't do it. That one's out of play. And another point to the Panthers. And DBK takes a TO on the Louisville bench.
And per the last timeout that Bobby Peterson called, there has been a swing in the momentum towards UNI.
There was a swing in the momentum of yesterday's match for UNI. It went toward Illinois. The Panthers looked comfortable, looked in control in the opening 2 sets, but after the intermission, Illinois came out with more energy, more fire. But that class of the Panthers program, that experience, that winning culture and mentality proved to come out to the forefront as Northern Iowa emerged with the win over Illinois in 4 sets. Again, this is a serially winning program, undefeated in conference play each of the last 2 years, but they have not advanced out of this stage of the NCAA tournament since 2002. And for a high-performing mid-major, making that round of 16, the regional semifinal is often the goal. They've got that opportunity today, and they are seemingly doing everything they can to try and take that opportunity the way that they are playing.
Yeah, and you could maybe look at this as a tough draw for them, but not a lot of those mid-major schools get a better chance, get a seed better than an 8 seed with so many Power 5 conference teams being in the tournament. But UNI is taking this opportunity. Again, they feel comfortable in this venue, and they're doing everything they can to take this set 1.
They're certainly fighting tooth and claw on a 3-0 scoring run right now, but still trailing Louisville by 2. Does Louisville end the run out of the timeout? They try to go to Kara Cressy. It's tipped back Louisville's way. Here's Anna DeBeer, a full swing that is denied by Northern Iowa. Rewerts with the block.
Rewerts, I think this is her inside hand. Yes, as DeBeer is trying to go cross, Rewerts just drops her hand and takes away the angle.
And the fans getting into it now, the Louisville fans cheering their team forward. UNI sensing an opportunity for their team to tie it. And Louisville in serve receive having difficulty, so it's a chance for the Panthers. Reese Robbins to the deck. Hartman. And again. It's on Louisville's side of the net. It's a point to UNI, and they have tied it at 21.
Louisville needs to steady in serve receive.
The energy high right now in the KFC Yum Center. Kara Cressy took a lot off that ball. Here's Hartman. Fowler finds it. Cressy was there, but didn't make clean contact, and UNI takes the lead in set 1. Another timeout from Louisville. Well, Cassidy Hartman has been integral to this run back into this set for UNI. She was certainly integral to their win yesterday. 21 kills against the Big Ten outfit Illinois for the sensational sophomore from North Liberty, Iowa, who was placed on the 2nd team All-Missouri Valley Conference this year. So far today, 3 for 8, a .375 hitting percentage.
And UNI typically has a balanced offense. Hartman got a few more swings yesterday because she was on fire. And you see today, they're really trying to spread it out, use Chernigal and Dykstra off the right side just a bit more. But if Cassidy Hartman heats up like she did yesterday, look for them to keep getting her the ball.
And you saw Hartman's numbers from the first matchup between these two back on September 14th. Only one player for UNI had double-figure kills in that hard-fought loss via the sweep. But if UNI wants to pull off this upset, they could do no better than taking set 1. They have taken punches from Louisville. But this cool, collected, calm, composed, confident team has come from behind, and they've got it right where they want it right now.
And I can't say enough about their demeanor as a team. You see smiles right now, but focus. I think they have the perfect team chemistry and demeanor. They're not a roller coaster. You will see them in the same facial expression, same mindset throughout the match.
Bobby Peterson said you don't have to motivate your kids in an NCAA tournament. Well, you certainly don't have to motivate them in that timeout, because the set is there for the taking against the #1 seed. But it is a service error out of the timeout from Sydney Golden that ties the score at 22.
And UNI wants to stay aggressive with their serving, but they also don't want to be the reason their runs end. So that was a run on serve receive there by Golden that was ended with her own service error.
And maybe for Danny Busboom Kelly, that timeout worked just to take the energy out of UNI. The block touch there from Kara Cressy. She calls for this one and comes up with the kill. Great communication by Louisville there in front of the net.
Exactly, great communication. This very well could have been a collision between Cressy and Glock as Glock's trying to go get the second ball, but Cressy takes it with confidence.
And now the Cardinals, having trailed just a moment ago, 2 points away. Hartman blocked. Cressy and Robbins up for it.
And the Louisville block is what is going to give them the energy to get control of this set and ultimately of the match.
An even blocking battle thus far between these two. Louisville just taking the edge. Set point for the Cardinals. Hartman keeps UNI alive in the first set.
I love Hartman bouncing right back. She'd just gotten blocked on an off-system ball from Louisville, quickly forgot about it, memory of a goldfish, moved on and took the big swing.
I hear you, Ted Lasso. Still set point for Louisville. Cressy. Fowler. Was it in? It was, to tie it at 24.
And I like the decision to go to Cressy on the slide, but Glock and Cressy have to be clicking at this point in the season. Cross shot definitely in from Fowler.
Service error from UNI gives the advantage back to Louisville. And now Elena Scott takes aim for the Cardinals. Challenging serve. But it's off of the hands of PK on the swing from Olivia Chernigal to tie it once again.
And UNI doing a good job of sticking to their game plan and varying their offense from both of the pins. It's easy in high pressure situations to get kind of one-dimensional.
Powers serves. Reese Robbins. Somehow Scott got there. Chernigal. De Beer couldn't get there that time, and back-to-back kills for Olivia Chernigal. And now UNI has the opportunity to steal this first set. If there's pressure, you couldn't tell on the face of Bobby Peterson. Looper. It's in.
Great swing from Looper. She skied on that ball.
Charity Looper the senior from Dallas, in her second year for Louisville after transferring in from UCLA. A true star for the Cardinals offensively. And now Nayeliz Cabello. You could cut the tension with a knife right now. Chernigal.
We spoke about Hartman being the one to step up yesterday. Chernigal seems to be the one stepping up for UNI tonight. And that offense from the right side could be a difference maker for the Panthers.
Chernigal with 6 kills. She was the only Panther in double figures in the first meeting between these two back in September. A golden opportunity for UNI, but listen to this noise from the KFC Yum Center. Looper. Maldonado Diaz. Looper again. It's Fowler for Northern Iowa. Maldonado Diaz. 4 contacts.
It's going to be a double contact. Doubles are not called anymore now when the ball stays on your side of the net. But if you take it over, they can call a double.
And Anna DeBeer looking for an explanation immediately. Danny Busboom-Kelly, a bemused look as well. But the number 8 seed, Northern Iowa, takes the first set over the number 1 seed, Louisville. The KFC Yum Center filled with energy in this second round NCAA tournament matchup, and for good reason. It has been a sensational match thus far. And the number 8 seed, Northern Iowa, taking the opening set. First time that they've taken a set against Louisville since December of 2017. And oh, by the way, that was a Northern Iowa sweep of the Cardinals in the NCAA tournament.
It's a little bit cliche, but I think as that first set went on and we got to extra points, UNI, being the underdog, played fearless. They played to win, and Louisville started to play not to lose. I think that's going to be the message from Coach Busboom-Kelly, is go out there and play Louisville volleyball with intensity and aggression and play to win.
You just wonder, we talked about the pressure of the opportunity of hosting the national title. Having a home crowd is certainly a benefit for Louisville in many regards, but in some ways it can kind of add to the anxiety in a moment like we saw at the end of the first set there, where UNI playing free because the cliche, they've got nothing to lose because they're the underdog.
Because why not?
And maybe Louisville needs to look to that woman to spark a comeback in this one. Anna DeBeer, their fiery leader. Here's Charity Looper. And again for Louisville. Powers behind it. And here's Hartman. Looper again. And Looper gets the kill.
And Looper took 2 powerful swings right away, even in transition, even off sets, coming from Elena Scott, not from setter Ellie Glock. That's what DBK wants to see for the Louisville squad.
Looper 6 kills, the team lead for the Cardinals. It's a block for Louisville to make it 2-0. Charity Looper 6 for 17 with 3 digs and a block so far. You see what she was able to do in the first matchup between these two teams in September. Those 16 kills, a team high.
And she has the potential to be a spark for the Cardinals.
But there will be no backing down from Northern Iowa. Make no mistake. Hartman with the kill. Starting to get going after that near career day yesterday with 21 kills. Looper again for Louisville. Overhits it.
And Louisville had some serve-receive woes during the middle of the first set, but it looked to steady at the end of the first set, and the serve-receive has been strong here so far in the second. Another great pass from Scott.
Fowler. Looper finds it.
We've seen all power from Looper so far in set 2.
I alluded to the fact that maybe Louisville turns to Anna DeBeer to spark them. Seems like they're turning to Charity Looper, which is not a bad option whatsoever.
And part of that could be timing with DeBeer in the front row. Look for that spark to come from DeBeer in another rotation.
Here's Looper again. Had a lot of work to do for that ball, and Louisville unable to keep it alive between Looper and Scott. A point to the Panthers on the block.
Great block from Chernigal. It takes good patience to block a roll shot. We saw a couple balls land in front of the blockers in set 1. Chernigal was able to press and hold on that one.
Chernigal, the senior from Minnesota, filling up the stat sheet so far today. 6 kills, 3 digs, 3 blocks. And an ace for UNI. Powers with the ace. A terrific weapon from behind the service line. Over 40 aces this year. Here's Maldonado Diaz for Louisville. Look at the effort from Northern Iowa. Great reactions. And PK too strong. Another attack error. And UNI ahead by 2.
Louisville having some problems with the connection between the setters and the first tempo offense, and that's not something that you want to see at this time in the season.
Draws the ire of Danny Busboom Kelly. Here's PK. A block! Northern Iowa, the 8th seed, looking like the 1 seed right now at the KFC Yum Center. Timeout, Louisville. Don't scratch your eyes. That score bug is correct. Northern Iowa leads Louisville 1-0, and now they have a 6-3 advantage here in set 2. We led off the broadcast talking about the defensive identity for both of these teams. Certainly is true for Northern Iowa. Top 11 in the country in opponent hitting percentage and doing better than they do on average thus far today. And Louisville, not too shabby themselves. 22nd in the country in opponent hitting percentage.
UNI has done a great job just being disciplined on the block. If the block's not there, they're filling the hole on defense. And if the block's there, then they're taking away some of the hitters' favorite shots.
22nd in the country in offensive hitting percentage. They're 7th in the country in opponent hitting percentage, Louisville. Northern Iowa out of the timeout. Unable to capitalize on that run of emotion that they had been riding into the timeout. But perhaps, Steph Cantway, it's a good time to point out and elaborate on something we've already mentioned as another point goes to Louisville. The relationship between Northern Iowa and Louisville is a fascinating one. We talked about the familial tie between Bobby Peterson and her daughter, Peyton. But that led Bobby Peterson to watch Louisville a lot. So much so that Danny Busboom Kelly said, Bobby Peterson probably knows our weaknesses as well as we do. And certainly, UNI looks like they've got a great read on what Louisville is going to do so far in this one. Though the Cardinals are on a 3-0 run to tie the score at 6 apiece.
And I think, to your point, Chernigal getting a lot of sets on the right side. That's been a weakness for Louisville's defense this year, is shutting down right side hitters. So UNI seems to be going to the right side here, right on cue with Chernigal, a missed sharp cross. But they're going to the right side more and making the Louisville defense kind of see everything from a mirror image from the right side instead of the left side, and it just gives a different look. I think that's credit to Bobby Peterson's scouting report.
Peterson said you can know what teams do, but slowing them down is a different story. But everything thus far has gone to plan for Northern Iowa. Louisville has found a plan out of the timeout. A 5-0 run for the Cardinals, forcing Bobby Peterson to call timeout. Maldonado Diaz with the latest kill. Northern Iowa would hope to write their name in the headlines with a win over Louisville in this one. So the Cardinals certainly a spark over the last 5 points. If Northern Iowa were able to take this one, they would go right to the top of the heap of day 3 headlines in the NCAA tournament. Let's look at the headlines from yesterday. And obviously the 7-seed Missouri taking down SMU in Dallas is the most notable upset of the NCAA tournament thus far.
There were some fun games to watch yesterday, though. You see the 2 5-set thrillers that both ended up in upsets. And then the SMU has been in the ACC. We followed them all year. They've had some big wins and they've had some tough losses, and they weren't able to come through last night. I think a lot of people had them making a run deep into this tournament. Missouri played fantastic and was able to shut them down in 4.
That's always a fun conversation to have, right, regardless of the sport, but particularly in volleyball this year. ACC versus SEC, SMU, Missouri. There have been a few ACC teams that have gone down in the opening couple of rounds of this tournament. Louisville hoping to avoid the upset today. What do you think was said in that timeout a moment ago? Not this timeout, but the one that started this Louisville run. What did Danny Busboom-Kelly say to her team to spark this 5-0 run and force Bobby Peterson into a timeout?
Again, I think they just need to settle in and stay aggressive. If they play Louisville volleyball at its finest, they can score points.
Let's see if UNI can answer the run with a run of their own following their timeout. Fowler for the second time. Great focus from Maldonado Diaz, but just not able to keep that ball going. And Fowler with the kill.
UNI is playing fearless on offense and defense.
Kira Fowler, the senior from Minnesota, co-Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year. 13th Northern Iowa player in their history to claim the conference's Player of the Year award. Louisville a little out of sorts in serve receive, but able to get the ball across. And then it's the block of PK that gets the job done for the Cardinals.
And blocking can solve a lot of craziness during a rally. It can slow down the ball and or finish with a kill block, as we just saw there.
PK with 75 blocks over the course of the regular season. The 6'4" grad student from South Dakota. Service error committed by Louisville. And neither team right now, Steph, able to open up any kind of comfortable margin on the scoreboard. Every Northern Iowa run has been met by a Louisville run, and now every Louisville run has been met by a Northern Iowa run.
And I think it's a little bit similar to set 1. We haven't seen any of the big long rallies yet. I'm going to say that right as we have a fantastic dig and we have the potential to see a long rally here. But we've kind of seen both squads feeling each other out. Free ball there for the Louisville offense. Maybe that is the spark they needed for Anna DeBeer to catch fire.
The tie between Anna DeBeer and the Louisville fan base is as strong as the tie between any single player and her fan base in the country. A big swing from Anna DeBeer brings the noise level up in the KFC Yum Center. But UNI has a response.
The outside hitters from UNI, both Hartman and Fowler, have just swung hard but smart each time. So methodical.
Looper denied by Rewerts. It's a Rewerts rejection.
Rewerts hasn't made an impact on offense today, but her defense and blocking has been spectacular.
Fourth block for Rewerts. DeBeer all over that overpass. Anna DeBeer is the kind of player that raises her level to the occasion. And with the stakes as high as they are in the second round of this NCAA tournament, Anna DeBeer is locked in right now for the Cardinals. Can they take advantage?
But she's also back to serve, which means she's out of the front row attacking for the Cardinals.
And though she may be locked in offensively, she commits the service error here. to tie the score at 11.
Louisville needs to find offense from somewhere other than their outside hitters. DeBeer and Looper have stepped up in the second set, but they're going to need some offense from the right side or the middle.
They go to the right side here with Kira Cressy. Here's Looper. Hartman, the delicate touch. Everything working for Cassidy Hartman this weekend.
And Hartman goes up high, is able to contact this ball over the block of Reese Robbins.
7th kill for Hartman. She's the leader for UNI so far tonight. Panthers somehow able to keep that ball up. Here's Reese Robbins. Robbins is right for Louisville.
And we've talked about Louisville needing the spark from Looper DeBeer, but a spark from Reese Robbins from the right side of their offense could be the change that they need in this match.
Chernigal. Hartman, Chernigal, and Fowler clicking on all cylinders for UNI right now.
The Louisville block has to find a way to get a touch on Chernigal on this right side. They're leaving her with a single block a lot of the time.
Look at the pancake from Powers. PK wants that point back, and she's going to get it. She was robbed of a point on that outstanding defensive play, but in the end, ties the score at 13.
The Louisville coaching staff was already up, ready to grab the green card, but they don't have to since their team was able to finish the rally with a point.
Certainly looked close. But with Erin Powers, the Missouri Valley's co-libero of the year, you would certainly give her the benefit of the doubt on a play like that because of her quality and talent. Here's Fowler into the net.
Maybe the first true miscue error that we've seen from the Panthers offense today.
Fowler blocked. DK making a big impact for the Cardinals right now.
And you see a good reach into the hole. Her feet were a little late, but her hands sealed that block over the net.
And a much more even blocking battle than we saw in the first matchup when Louisville had an 11-3 edge in that statistical category. Fowler, Scott diving to her right to keep it alive. Chernigal, that one high into the air. Fowler, was it touched? It was. Point to the Panthers.
Those off the block swings where the hitter is able to swing high and off the block and the ball goes out of play to be undiggable could really be the key here to this match, because any ball that is hit in the court is being dug tonight.
And if it's not the digs that catch your eye, it's the blocks for both of these teams.
Selner with the close. Again, Louisville sometimes can get a little bit one-dimensional going to the outside. Look for them to try to add a back row attacker as an option on a play like that.
4 blocks for Caitlin Selner. She had nearly 90 over the course of the season. Maldonado Diaz.
That's the different look. It's an outside hitter. It's a pin hitter for Louisville, but getting that swing out of the middle on the 2-ball.
It's Louisville by 1. Cannot take your eyes off this one whatsoever. And a point back to UNI. Chernigal once again.
We talked about Chernigal's had success in the seam when the block's late to close. That was a strong double block from Louisville, and she makes the exact right decision by going high and getting the touch on the block.
There's no telling where this set may go from here. Both teams playing at such a high level right now. Anna DeBeer. Kill number 7 for her to match her total from last night. And that hitting percentage, .429. Far and away among the players that have scored most frequently tonight, the most efficient.
Last time Anna DeBeer was in the front row for the Cardinals, they didn't really get her going until her final rotation in the front row. Look for them to try to get her the ball as soon as possible this time.
There's Peyton Peterson, the freshman daughter of Bobby Peterson, into the match for the first time. For the Cardinals, number 21. Dykstra and Looper underneath it. Here's Anna DeBeer. Dykstra again. The call is a point to UNI. Louisville, all of them on the floor waving their hands in disagreement. The question becomes, does Danny Busboom Kelly challenge this? She hasn't moved from her seat just yet.
I think Maldonado Diaz acknowledged that she did touch it. She wasn't happy about it, and she did try to sell it right away to the officials by saying no, but I think she told DBK to hold on to the challenge.
DeBeer, look at Powers. Cressy can't keep it in. And UNI takes the lead. We started off by saying in the NCAA tournament it's high stakes. This feels like a high stakes heavyweight bout right now.
Aaron Powers playing fantastic defense for the Panthers, but the block of Louisville with Maldonado Diaz and Kara Cressy has been steady out there on the pin, lots of touches, and they finally get the kill block.
Kara Cressy, the redshirt junior from Fort Wayne, Indiana. All square at 18 in set number 2. Dykstra. Hartman off the block for the kill.
I love that Hartman does not shy away. Even after getting blocked, she's right in this next rally and goes for it off the hands of Kara Cressy.
Hartman and Chernigal each with 8 kills to lead the way for UNI. Anna DeBeer to answer, and she does.
Anna DeBeer again goes from getting a kill that the Cardinals need back to serve and rotating out of the front row.
Come on, Anna.
This time she avoids the service error. Dykstra. Looper. Hartman, the touch from Robbins defensively for Louisville. Cressy, Powers, Cressy again with a dunk. Great reactions from both sides, and Kara Cressy gets the kill.
And the net play and balance here, the athleticism from Kara Cressy. That's 3 balls in a row with a 360 in the middle, and she was able to stay balanced and score.
Cressy credited with a block. But Louisville cannot maintain the lead on another service error.
Should we just go ahead and call extra points in set 2 too? Should we just call it right now?
I think we need to buckle up for the entirety of this match. There is not going to be a comfortable moment. Reese Robbins restores Louisville's lead.
She has had an uptick in this second set, and it's going to be important for her to continue that if Louisville wants to win this match.
It's a mistake for UNI and serve receive. And UNI takes a timeout. 2 points at this stage of the second set is critical. And that is the margin by which Louisville leads right now, trying to even the match at a set apiece.
And we just saw Anna DeBeer rotate back to serve that we talked about, but that puts Charity Looper in the front row for this Louisville offense.
Charity Looper with 25 swings so far today. The hitting percentage will not wow you, but 7 kills and 6 digs in a match of this magnitude will. And she's also got 1 block as well.
And she was one of the ones that got maybe a little bit hesitant at the end of the first set when they were trying to finish. DBK and team are probably reminding her right here, stay aggressive and go win this set.
Charity Looper, one of the leaders of this team, named a captain ahead of this season in just her second year in the program after transferring in from UCLA. Danny Busboom Kelly said it was so impressive to see Looper win the respect of her teammates in a very well-established locker room, a culture and a group of players so close-knit who had experienced so much success prior to Looper's arrival.
And she has such a fiery, infectious personality, and I think that's what drives her to be a captain. But sometimes when you have that much personality, it can go the other way if you are struggling. She has really balanced her emotions this season and been able to stay more steady and consistent for Louisville.
And this certainly a match with the high intensity of an NCAA tournament, where emotions could make the difference. Losing your head, losing your cool could spell doom for one side or the other.
And Goldens has a strong front row here with Fallitz and Chernigal.
Here's Chernigal. Reese Robbins. It's a UNI block. And who else?
Casey Rearward has been incredible on the block tonight. I don't think that was the set she was expecting from the scouting report to go back to Robbins, but she has such fast feet and is able to close.
So out of the timeout, UNI cuts the deficit to 1. Looper restores the 2-point cushion.
Looper took a high, strong swing inside the block. That's what Louisville wants to see from her.
A look of focus from one of the Louisville leaders. Chernigal. Yes!
Again, great adjustment from Chernigal. Strong double block, and she swings high and hard. It is tough to track that ball down for the Louisville defense once it goes off the block and out of the court.
Looper. Chernigal. And Chernigal again has to set it over. Opportunity for Louisville here. They go to Maldonado Diaz. Mikota defensively for UNI. DeBeer for Louisville. Cabello keeps it alive. Another great rally between these two. And it ends with a Louisville block.
Interesting that Panthers went 5 times back to Chernigal in that rally. 5 swings by Chernigal. The Louisville Cardinal defense was able to hold off and finally get a block.
Charity Looper stamping her name on this second set with that block. And she serves here, set point for Louisville. And the Cardinals have tied it at a set apiece. A sensational second round match in this 2024 NCAA Volleyball Championship. Punch for punch. Both teams not letting up. Buckle up. Louisville freshman Sam Unteed with the words of wisdom there. Goodness gracious, you cannot take your eyes off this match in the second round of this NCAA tournament here at the KFC Yum Center in Louisville, Kentucky. Just exhale. It's time to breathe. Could not. Just a feast of a volleyball game that we've had for you so far today. Steph can't wait. That's your name. My name's Jeff Milby. Steph, incredible stuff that we've seen between the 8 seed Northern Iowa and the number 1 seed Louisville. Punch for punch, back and forth, neither team backing down. It has been entertainment value to the max so far.
It's been fun to watch. Louisville's block stepped it up at the end of that second set. I think that was the difference that turned things around in that second set, because it was point for point the entire time. The defense, the rallies. UNI has used their right side a lot. That's been effective multiple times at the end of that second set, when that's where Louisville's block kind of caught on and figured that out. So look for them to go back to their varied offense as the set 3 starts.
Obviously in the NCAA tournament, the season is on the line for both of these teams. But to spin it positively, a date with Purdue is on the line for both of these teams. The Boilermakers advancing past Loyola Chicago, who pulled off the most notable upset of day 1 of the NCAA tournament when they knocked off number 5 BYU in a sweep. The Boilermakers able to sweep Loyola Chicago yesterday, and they will advance. And if Louisville were to advance out of this match, that regional semifinal would take place here in Louisville, Kentucky. Purdue, obviously, with the opportunity to host should Northern Iowa survive what has been a grueling affair thus far. A look at how we arrived at this intermission. Looper and DeBeer jointly leading the way for the Cardinals, and the blocking battle has been very, very even. Louisville with the slightest edge. That was somewhere in the first matchup back in September between these two sides. Louisville had an 8-block advantage, but Northern Iowa has come to play at the net so far today.
And Rewerts has really sparked that for UNI, being able to shut down the middles. And for a point during that first and second stretch, it really made Louisville more one-dimensional. They were only able to go to Looper or DeBeer because of the success of UNI's block. Look for both teams to try to re-steady and rebalance their offense and kind of at the beginning of this third set.
Cassidy Hartman, who you see there, second for UNI behind Chernigal's 9 kills with 8 of her own. One thing is for certain. Both teams deserve to advance based on the way they're playing early on. The question is, who will? And UNI out of the intermission with the opening point of the third set.
Good swing here. We talked about something different, that balance. That's a gap ball, a 31 ball from Rewerts.
Cressy with the left after the block touch by UNI. DeBeer. Here's Chernigal for the Panthers. And the point to the Panthers after it was touched defensively by Louisville.
Teams seem to want a challenge, but Bobby Peterson chooses not to use a challenge here. I think smart. It's early in the set. Even if you think that the call was wrong, we've seen everything go point for point, and you want those challenges if they come up in the tight moments.
UNI with the point, a 2-0 lead. So Danny Busboom-Kelly hangs on to the challenge. And Louisville gets a point back with Kara Cressy. 4th kill of the day for Cressy, along with already 5 blocks. That one off of Glock for a Panther point. Credit to Rewerts for the kill. In a match like this, Steph, the mental energy that it must take as Looper scores for Louisville. It's a marathon of a match the way this one has gone. So many points back and forth. It's really, the margins are so slim. It's a matter of who can stay locked in for every single point. To echo the comments we heard from UNI yesterday. A point is a point. Every point matters.
And I think that's very true. And I think your discipline in being able to follow your scouting reports as you get tired. These athletes are physically trained to do what they do when they're tired, but the mental part of the game. Can you stay focused on the little things? Can you remember the other team's tendencies from the scouting report when the game is on the line?
It was Elena Scott who went flying for Louisville for the dig, and then Caitlin Sellner.
And Chernigal, we haven't really seen her go off speed yet tonight. Good tip there over the block, regain a little bit of confidence, and it led to an overpass.
Sellner, the redshirt freshman from Minnesota. Looper again.
I think that's something Looper needs to use more of. She is up above, just a few inches higher than that UNI block, and that's a great angle to hit off that block, still with power, but hitting off the block instead of avoiding the block.
Looper now leading the way for Louisville with 10 kills, equaling Chernigal for UNI. Dykstra from the middle.
Dykstra in front of a triple block, does not hesitate at all, cuts this ball back to one around the triple block.
A little discussion between the officials on the call, and in the end it's a point to Louisville on an attack error.
And that ball was right in front of the R1 Young Park, and he overruled the call of the line judge. So the line judge did call it a touch. Bobby Peterson is going to challenge.
It was the touch from Hartman.
UNI is challenging a touch on the block. The original call is no touch.
It's the voice of Michael O'Connor.
This is going to be an interesting one in replay because it really looked like Maldonado Diaz pushed her hands back into the middle of the court, so her hands were on the move when the ball was contacted. A lot of times when the block is holding still, then you see that touch by it causing motion in the hands. It does look like it just missed her pinky, so they'll be looking for a touch off the arms of Diaz.
Yeah, if anything, it was the lower wrist where Maldonado Diaz may have made contact with the ball.
And I think that's harder to see in replay. A lot of time we see a finger move so obviously her arm is not going to move the same way a finger would. So I think it could be a tough play to overturn.
It's a matter of evidence, video evidence to support the challenge from UNI that it was touched. If there's not enough evidence to support it, the call will stand.
But again, look at the relaxed nature, the smiles from UNI right now in this huddle. You can tell they're talking about volleyball in the game and focus, but a very cool, calm, and collected demeanor.
Call on the floor is confirmed, no touch.
And in fact, there was evidence to confirm the call in the mind of Michael O'Connor. You see the season-long challenge percentage for Bobby Peterson. Just a tick under 500 now.
And UNI down to one challenge now. Unless we go a fifth set, then they would get another one.
And there's her daughter. Peyton Peterson on to serve here for Louisville. Right now, Mom is the happier of the two Petersons because her team has a 2-point lead after that point. Lily Dykstra with the kill.
And UNI's game plan is to score off that right side. You can tell they're really disciplined in it and continue to get that ball to the right pin.
It's a 3-point lead for UNI.
And talk about another happy mom. This is Reese Booth with the tip. and Kirsten Bernthal Booth is celebrating that from the crowd.
KBB with a smile. Anna DeBeer will restore some smiles to the faces of Louisville's faithful in the stands.
But we talk about the smiles from UNI. We are not going to see a smile from Anna DeBeer. She has the business face at all times, and she knows how important this match is for the Cardinals.
Here's Maldonado Diaz. Dykstra again. It's off the tape and out of play for a point to Louisville. Bobby Peterson talking yesterday about Illinois, the team that UNI defeated in the first round, noted their physicality. And Kira Fallert said that UNI was going to have to outwork and outdig these power conference opponents like they did yesterday against Illinois. Seem to be doing that again today. More digs for UNI, 45-39 for Louisville.
But one difference, when UNI has made that adjustment or really gotten into the groove of using their right side, that's also slowed down Elena Scott in her defense. We saw 10 digs from her just in that first set, and she only has 15 now in that third set, because when the offense is running off the other side of the court, it takes that left back defense kind of out of play.
15 digs for Elena Scott, 14 digs, plus 7 kills now for Kira Fallert, who scored there for UNI. 2 players in double-digit dig totals for the Panthers, Fallert and Erin Powers, who has 15 digs of her own. And Louisville with an attack error that will take us to a timeout called by Danny Busboom Kelly. Louisville's 5 losses this year were all to teams in the top 5. An elite schedule that Louisville played over the course of the season, both out of conference and in conference. But in those 5 losses, they were outblocked cumulatively by 14. And tonight, they're being outblocked by Northern Iowa, a reversal of the trend that we saw in the first matchup in September. Anna DeBeer out of the break with the kill for the Cardinals. Clearly, Steph, I think what we're seeing right now, full credit deserved by Northern Iowa for the way that they are playing. But what does Louisville need to do differently to get back in this set and show why they were selected as that #1 seed?
I think Louisville just has to steady a little bit. Their block has gotten a lot of touches that haven't led to points, and a lot of them have ping-ponged off, landed in front, and some of that is when you're being too fast and a little too spazzy. So I think they need to take a deep breath and be strong with each contact and intentional. Louisville didn't need Anna DeBeer's best last night against Chicago State. They definitely need her best tonight against Northern Iowa, and she is closing in on a double-double. Great reactions from both Scott and Glock. But a chance here for Northern Iowa, and they go to Rewerts. Rewerts with the quick 1 ball here. She's up just a little bit off the setter to challenging Cressy to need to move to her right, which ultimately will open things up again for Chernigal to Cressy's left. Looper. An attack error. Just past the line as Looper looked for the deep corner. I think that's the right shot from Louisville, from Looper, specifically high over that block, but it's got to be in at this point in the set. But the error, this time from behind the service line, committed by Northern Iowa. Give Elena Scott the opportunity to serve here for the Cardinals, trailing by 3. Reese Robbins sent back. Kira Fallert
says no.
Kira Fowler was all over this down the line. You can see her press her outside hand back into the court, and when a hitter swings strong, that block goes straight down.
Looper. Right now, Louisville hanging on through the effort of Charity Looper.
Looper's able to run a faster ball here and beat the block and go to the inside. That's exactly what Louisville needs, is multiple weapons on offense to open things up for their left sides.
Looper's 12 kills, a team high. Anna DeBeer right behind her with 10.
Free ball here for Louisville.
They go to Maldonado. Diaz.
I love Cabello moving the offense around there. Easy on a free ball to just go to your big hitters and send that ball out to Looper, but getting other people involved in the offense is so important.
Fowler. Off of Scott. Rare that you will see Elena Scott be unable to keep a ball alive defensively. Such was the swing of Kira Fowler. Cabello, the one-handed set. And it's another point to Northern Iowa. A 4-point lead for the Panthers. There is zero intimidation on that UNI bench. They are looking Louisville square in the eye. And Danny Busboom-Kelly calls timeout.
UNI has done a really good job of staying disciplined in their game plan to go and score off the right side. Even as Chernigal had a few struggles at the end of the second set, you see them using both Chernigal and Dykstra.
Olivia Chernigal, 10 kills, 4 digs, and 4 blocks. For the first team All-Missouri Valley Conference performer in her 5th year.
Point Panthers.
She was the team's leader in blocks last year. Had a career best season this year, though, with 266 kills. And has been the most frequently used option for UNI today. 31 swings. They have gone to her time and time and time again. And more often than not, she has rewarded that game plan.
And Fallerts is the player of the year for UNI and in the Missouri Valley Conference. Hartman really stepped up last night, put the team on her back and beat Illinois. And then tonight it's Chernigal, which is awesome for these Panthers. It's the flexibility like that to be dynamic that can lead a team to a long tournament run.
And for a mid-major program, the makeup of this UNI team, if there is a mid-major program to make a run in the NCAA tournament, it's this bunch. Out of the timeout, Maldonado, Diaz. Mikota chases that ball down, and Reese Booth bump sets it over. Another block!
And one thing I love about Fallerts, tonight she is not the go-to hitter for the Panthers, so she's finding other ways to impact the game with digging and blocking. That's what makes a player of the year.
An outstanding blocking performance by Northern Iowa. They may not have the size that Louisville has, but they've got the knowledge and the timing to make up for it, though they commit the service error here. Fowler. There's a block for Louisville to respond. Hannah Sherman, who had 7 blocks last night.
And I love Hannah Sherman being subbed into this game and making a difference right away with her blocking.
Her first contribution to this match. For Sherman, the redshirt sophomore from Maryland. Another block. Back to back. And maybe blocking is Louisville's route back into this set. Timeout, Northern Iowa.
We've talked about blocking being Louisville's identity and defense being Louisville's identity. The Panthers have slowed down the Louisville defense by kind of reversing things and running things off that right side, but the blocking is still under Louisville's control. So look for that to be their focus, and come back here is focusing on their blocking and using that to fuel a run.
Elena Scott and Anna DeBeer leading the Louisville huddle. This Louisville team, under Danny Busboom Kelly in recent years, blocking has been the signature of Louisville's defensive front. Year in and year out among the nation's leaders in blocks per set. That was the case this year when they finished second in the NCAA, led by players like Kara Cressy and PK. And it is the blocks of Hannah Sherman in this instance, in this set, that have pulled Louisville to within 2 points.
And we see Coach Dan Meske giving a little spunky talk to Louisville right now. Anna DeBeer was talking in the huddle early, being the leader, being the emotional driver for the Cardinals.
Blocking is one of the facets of volleyball that can swing the emotional pendulum from one side to the other. Louisville hoping that Hannah Sherman's back-to-back blocks have swung the emotions and the momentum to their side. Man, this has been fun. An ace out of the timeout. Louisville back to within 1 on a 4-0 scoring run.
And we talked early that every point matters here. The big flashy kills are fun, but what's going to pay off in the long run here are the little things. It's every serve receive. It's every contact on the ball.
Here's Anna DeBeer. Sent back, and Maldonado Diaz just has to get it over. Fowler. Dykstra, was it touched? UNI claims it was, and it was.
There was a net violation on Sherman as well.
So
we've talked about the adrenaline and the excitement just commentating. Sometimes on that block, when you get really excited, you press just a little too much and get in the net.
Anna DeBeer. Dykstra. Precise.
Cabello needs to make an adjustment there and make sure that she's outside of the block of Sherman.
Dykstra now second behind Chernigal with 9 kills. It's a 4-headed monster right now offensively for UNI. Chernigal, Dykstra, Hartman, and Fowlers. Maldonado Diaz off hands to get a point back for Louisville. Neither team is going to blink in this one. It's really, every set feels like a matter of one side running out of time as opposed to losing it. Peyton Peterson on to serve. Cassidy Hartman the swing. Anna DeBeer for Louisville.
We may have a challenge here. We will. It was called a touch on the block on the forearm of the outside blocker, but only called by one line judge.
UNI is challenging that there was no touch. The original call was touched.
And importantly, UNI has already lost one challenge. So were this to be an incorrect challenge by Bobby Peterson, they would be without a challenge until we hypothetically went to a 5th set.
And this was a weird play. The ball kind of bounced off the tape. Anna DeBeer did not look happy after the contact, and knowing that the ball landed out. Again, so tough when it's arm, not fingers, for those touch calls.
They'll be dissecting the spin of the ball, trying to see if it changed trajectory. But clearly, we've said it 4 times today, every point important. But in the scope of this particular set, crucially important, this call.
So close.
Call on the floor is going to be reversed, no touch. UNI will retain their challenge.
Credit to Bobby Peterson. And a huge point to give UNI a 3-point lead late on here in set 3. And they maintain, they keep their challenge.
Yeah, we talked about the risk of that challenge was not having a challenge, but I also think the timing of that challenge was super important to take a 3-point lead here.
Gives Northern Iowa some wiggle room. DeBeer had 2 bites at it and comes through with the second.
That one was off system, but I like Louisville running that ball a little bit tighter to the net and a little bit higher for DeBeer, and letting her be crafty off the block and off the top of the block instead of right into the blocker's hands.
That's still alive. That was Makota who just flailed it across the court, and Reese Robbins is there to pounce for Louisville.
And Louisville goes with a little different strategy here. Glock serving in place of Maldonado Diaz. She's a great short server. She's going to serve over to Dykstra in 2 to try to take Dykstra out of the offense.
Hartman the swing. You called it perfectly. Here's Dykstra. It was the second opportunity where they went to her. Louisville took her out of the first one. But she comes through.
And that's the patience and composure of the Panthers offense. They were not rattled by the fact that they couldn't get Dykstra the first ball. Hartman took a great swing on the outside, and they come back to her when the moment shines.
That's the chess match between these two. Point back to Louisville.
Man, for the Cardinals, it feels like Anna DeBeer rotates to the back row at the wrong times tonight.
Anna DeBeer with a double-double. Trying to will her team to a 3rd set win. And once again, when Anna DeBeer goes behind the service line, she commits a service error, her 2nd of the night. And Louisville's 6th. Looper.
Good high swing from Looper. Again, I like Louisville giving her a little bit of a higher ball and some room to work around that block or over that block of Chernigal and Rewerts.
Louisville needed to adjust the way that UNI has been playing defensively. And they get a point here on an attack error. One of the few times that UNI has made a mistake.
So you see here too, Elena Scott is going to serve short and try to get in the way of Chernigal's approach, because now you have a libero laying in the way of Chernigal, but Fowler's steps up. When Fallerts is your second option for offense, you know you're in a good place.
Kira Fallert, we've talked about it, the Co-Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year. Hasn't been the primary offensive option, though she does have those 9 kills, but she is making an impact on this match with 16 digs. An attack error from Louisville, and Northern Iowa inching ever so close to claiming a second set over the #1 seed on their court. A chant of "Let's Go Cards" breaking out among the thousands of Louisville faithful. It's Anna DeBeer.
And you saw DeBeer there step over, take the serve receive, nail that pass, and then transition and call aggressively for the ball to get that kill.
Cabello, the freshman. Fallert off the hands of Maldonado, Diaz, and Sherman. A chance to win the set for Northern Iowa.
That's the same higher, tighter ball that we've been looking for from Louisville. Perfect set from libero Aaron Howers to Fallerts on that ball.
Booth, the serve. Looper. Dykstra. But a point to Louisville as it hit the antenna.
A rare error from the Panthers offense tonight.
And it gives Louisville the opportunity to breathe, at least for a moment. A point to Northern Iowa would still give them the set. They go to Fallert. Scott and DeBeer combining defensively. Dykstra. Northern Iowa is 2/3 of the way to a shocker. The Missouri Valley Conference champions playing with the heart of a champion. The city of Louisville awarded with the opportunity to host the national championship come December 22nd. And this crowd certainly giving you reason to believe that that environment will be one of the best. Northern Iowa looking to pull off an upset and advance to a regional semifinal for the first time in 22 years. Bobby Peterson has led this team to 18 NCAA tournaments in her tenure of 25 years. She's led them to the regional semifinal twice in that time, but it has been a long time coming for them to get over the hump of the second round. And right now, facing one of the #1 seeds in this tournament, and the team that has the right to host the rest of the way, the Louisville Cardinals. And UNI on the precipice of pulling off the monumental upset of that #1 seed. But a lot of volleyball yet to be played. UNI, though, feeling confident. This team does not flinch. They are unflappable. And there's a pause as Elena Scott was shaken up on that last point for Louisville, the libero.
The Yum Center has never been this quiet.
Yes, a hush over the crowd. One of this program's all-time greats. A hometown hero, product of Mercy Academy. From here in Louisville, Kentucky. Said that she grew up a Louisville fan, but initially thought about going elsewhere for college as her family looks on. And the collision there between Scott and Looper, the reason for the concern. But Elena Scott with tears in her eyes is going to gut this out. And she makes the play on the serve. Looks to be okay. Here's Hartman. Too much. And Elena Scott, the player coming into that huddle with the words and the emotions to propel her team forward.
And hopefully with Elena, the amount of power she hits the floor with, you need room to finish your dive, to finish, take the momentum off. You'll see a lot of players roll to get up. When you collide with another player, it's at full impact. It's like football without pads at that point, because your momentum is taking you through that play, and that momentum gets halted.
And it's been a series of attack errors for UNI that has given Louisville this lead following the Scott injury. Louisville with their backs against the wall. Hartman. That is pinpoint to the back corner.
She's been fairly quiet tonight, 9 kills, but fairly quiet. Hasn't been the go-to tonight, but she has such accuracy in her ball placement around that block.
Service error, though, from Hartman after the kill. And Bobby Peterson can do nothing but look on. What an opportunity this is for this Panther club.
Nice serve.
Hartman. Scott calls for it. The bump set to Reese Robbins. Fowler. A point to Northern Iowa.
So on that play, you'll see Louisville's really focusing on taking the right sides out of the offense. They made Chernigal dive for that ball, so the ball had to go to Fallards. But again, the Panthers are not scared of the ball having to go to Fallards.
UNI has used their right side to great success all day. Louisville's tried to take it away, but so many talented options offensively for the Panthers that they're able to counter Louisville's counter. What has been consistent all day for both teams has been blocking.
Blocking and defense. This ball has to go outside, and Reese is able to get the ball with her left hand, pushing back into the hole.
Louisville now has edged back in front in the blocking battle. Another! Back to back, it's Cressy this time.
And the Louisville 3 middles have done such a great job of sharing the 2 middle positions this season. They've rotated different games, different situations. We saw Sherman come in that 3rd set and make a difference, and now Cressy enters the match and gets multiple blocks in a row right away.
UNI immediately goes to the bench calling for Bobby Peterson to grab that green card and challenge, and she will oblige her team on the floor. It was very close on the end line.
And they're going to challenge a touch on the block here, but I do think that Cressy may have been in the net as well.
UNI is challenging that there was a touch on the block. The original call was no touch.
So they will look for the touch on the block, but if they see a net violation while they are looking at the replay, that is also something that can be called.
It was Hartman the swing. It's between Cressy and Looper. So you're saying they're looking for a touch and also looking to see if Cressy's in the net.
They won't necessarily watch extra replays to see if Cressy's in the net, but if they see it while they're watching for the touch, they can make the call. Which I like, because the whole goal is to get the play called correctly. So I like that that's a caveat to the replay rule.
I agree. If you see it, you ought to be able to call it. Louisville responding well after losing that third set. They needed to respond. Make no mistake, we talk about the heart of a champion in UNI, but this Louisville team has pedigree and is a winning bunch as well. As we get a closer look.
And also interesting, you never want to see a player get hurt, but interesting that the tides kind of turned when Elena Scott went down with the injury. She's still in the match, still contributing, but sometimes your focus changes a little bit as a team to a different motivation.
Floor is confirmed, no touch. Louisville.
And UNI loses their second challenge. So they cannot challenge another call unless we go 5. Might play a factor down the stretch of this set.
And maybe the first emotions we've seen out of Bobby Peterson tonight.
Both coaches like their teams. These teams reflect their coaches in so many ways. Another block for Louisville. And Louisville has opened up a 5-point lead in a set that they must have.
Kara Cressy coming back into this match, determined to make a difference at the net.
Timeout. A 4-0 scoring run for Louisville has propelled them to this 5-point lead. Elena Scott, the senior from right here in Louisville, playing for her hometown team. A 2-time All-American, a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC. Back-to-back times she has been given that award. A semi-finalist for the AVCA National Player of the Year this season. One of the all-time greats, without a doubt, in Louisville volleyball history. As UNI gets a point out of the timeout. But the point you were making, Steph, interestingly, within this set, her injury may have swung the emotional pendulum back behind Louisville once again, as you get to see the output that she has had in this year's NCAA tournament. 13 digs last night, 18 for her tonight. There's a block for Northern Iowa. If you can do it, so can we. That has been the mantra of their play all night long.
And Fallard's focused on defense tonight. Digs and blocks. She is leading this team.
Can UNI answer Louisville's run? Charity Looper says not yet. Not right now.
And to your point about Elena and the team refocusing, I think it becomes this like do it for Elena spirit instead of some of the pressure of we're supposed to win this match and we're supposed to be. All of a sudden, if you get an injury to one of your star players, you kind of get that underdog mentality and that feeling like you're playing fearless and free, and that's what has kind of changed the tone for the Cardinals.
It can galvanize a team, and we've talked about the mental battle, the head games between these two, the underdog versus the favorite. The team at home versus the team on the road with nothing to lose. Experience against experience. And Fallard's attack error gives Louisville a 5-point cushion once again.
And Louisville making some adjustments to slow down the right side offense of the Panthers. One of those being making that right side attacker, Dykstra, in this situation, play defense so that she cannot be an offensive weapon.
Here's Dykstra from out of the middle, though, to score for the Panthers. Lily Dykstra up to 13 kills, the team lead. Hartman to the back corner.
She is so good with that line shot. Great dig here. Aaron Powers has to be the setter, and Hartman is able to thread the needle between Sherman and Robbins.
The setter Booth with the dig. Looper, there's Powers, but it's too strong, and it gives Looper the chance which she takes with aplomb. And it raises the fans to their feet, a few of them. Looper closing in on a double-double. It is a shame that one of these two teams' seasons will end after the way they've both played tonight.
I completely agree, but this is what we want to see in every game. Absolutely. In the NCAA tournament.
Maldonado Diaz for the Cardinals.
Great defense starts here. Elena Scott as the setter. And Maldonado Diaz with a thumb down cut shot down the line.
Cabello, the freshman, diving with the right hand to get to that ball. And Elena Scott's versatility, her passing ability on display. The Louisville libero. Here's Hartman. Blocked!
Diaz and Sherman on the pin.
Defense wins championships. And defense might well win a second-round match for one of these two teams tonight. Both teams showing out defensively. But Cabello with a service error here for Louisville.
And that was Cabello going after that short right side ball. You see Danny Busboom-Kelly tell her, good, that's what they want, that's the game plan. It's gonna lead to some errors, but hopefully it slows down the right side from the Panthers.
Louisville was a little slow to react, it looked like, on that overpass, and in the end, UNI gets the point through Hartman. There was a chance for the Cardinals there.
We talked about every point matters. That was a ball that we call an opportunity ball that Louisville did not take advantage of.
Fowler underneath that shot from Looper. Maldonado Diaz stepping up for Louisville.
We've talked about the diversity from Fowler. We see in that rotation, we saw a huge dig from her. She steps in and plays left side defense and plays as the libero while the middle serves from UNI. She does everything for this Panthers team.
Louisville by 5. Hartman. Looper behind it. DeBeer. Ball checked up for her just a bit. Hartman. Point to Louisville on the attack error. And UNI does not have the opportunity to challenge if they thought it was touched by a Cardinal player. Bobby Peterson, though, off her bench, not to challenge the play, but to call timeout. Seeing Louisville open up a 6-point lead in this set. The class of a #1 seed showing itself in this do-or-die fourth.
And we talked about the steadiness from UNI, and I think we're still seeing that with them. They have been down this entire set, pretty much for the first time tonight, that they've actually kind of been in a hole, but they're still doing the right things. On the flip side, Louisville has made some great in-game adjustments to slow down the right side attackers, Dykstra and Chernigal from UNI.
Well, you've analyzed it perfectly all night, explaining to our viewers the chess match, the duel between these two women, two of the best coaches in the country. Danny Busboom-Kelly on the right of your screen and Bobby Peterson on the left. Each, at one point in their stints at their respective schools, won 3 consecutive Conference Coach of the Year honors. Danny Busboom-Kelly from 2020 to 2022. She was also the National Coach of the Year in 2021. Led this team to the National Championship game in 2022. And is looking down the court at a coach in Bobby Peterson who is certainly her equal. And that chess match has been fascinating to watch. And the defensive identity, Steph, we said it at the very beginning of the broadcast. Last night, the defensive identity for both of these teams showed up doubly so tonight.
Yep, and for those of you that don't know volleyball well, blocks definitely set the tone for the defense. So Louisville's winning in that blocking game. Northern Iowa winning in that defensive game, and that has really been the chess match here tonight.
Hartman off the Louisville block. You talked about the adjustments Louisville made. Hannah Sherman coming into the match after not starting. PK getting the start tonight. Certainly making a difference for Louisville. But that time unable to make the play for the Cardinals. And Hartman using the block to score.
And look for the Panthers to try to get Chernigal more active here. We have a foot fault from Sydney Golden.
Something you rarely see, and it draws a wry smile from Golden.
It's definitely a mistake you tend to make in your younger days as a jump server, which I think is why Golden gave the reaction that she did.
Golden, a junior for UNI. Cressy nearly coming up with the block for Louisville. Whistles. And it's going to be a point to Louisville before that last play. The whistle, you could barely hear it at the Yum Center, but the whistle sounded.
An interesting decision there from Golden. She had the opportunity to get Chernigal the ball on the right side off of that free ball and didn't go to her.
Cabello leaps into the arms of Cressy.
And you talked about Sherman entering the match for PK as a sub, but it seems like every time Cressy or Sherman subs in and out and enters this game, enters the set, they make a difference right away, which is exactly what you want from people coming in off the bench.
Louisville by 8, and there's what you were talking about just a moment ago. UNI setting to Chernigal on the right side for the first time in a while.
We referenced the ability to stay mentally disciplined with your game plan as this match goes 4 and 5. I think that's an important fact for the Panthers right now.
Here's Chernigal again, but it is yet another Louisville block.
And here you see Kara Cressy actually take a step towards her right. She thought that ball was going to the outside, but she was able to recover with her hands into the hole.
For one of the best blocking teams in the country, they are having their best blocking performance of the year in a match that has needed it. For this Louisville team, it was a chance for UNI. Battle in front of the net between these two. Fowler, block number 21.
What a scrappy play, and then a ball that they knew was going outside, and Robbins and Cressy set up a wall.
Kara Cressy playing some of the most confident volleyball she has ever in a Louisville uniform right now.
Get out there!
A joust. Here's DeBeer. Chernigal scores.
I think she just got the block of DeBeer there on a great high swing. And can we talk a minute about the defense from Erin Powers? She is taking these swings from the powerful Anna DeBeer and putting them right on her setter's head and giving them the option to set the right side.
You've highlighted Fowler's defense. Powers with 21 kills. Those two players combined 40 digs, I should say. Beg your pardon, not kills, digs. 40 combined digs between those two. Cressy!
And Ellie Glock there with the great one-handed set. Libero Elena Scott put this ball pretty tight to the net, and Ellie Glock's able to not only get the ball, but push it to a gap set for Cressy.
Kara Cressy stepping to the front for Louisville in this 4th set. With a 9-point lead for the Cardinals, UNI sets it to Fowler, but it's an attack error, and it's a 10-point lead.
I think what UNI needs to remember here is that they have the advantage in this match. They need to go into the 5th set remembering their game plan and keeping their confidence.
Looper, Powers Thought she may have been underneath it. But it is a Charity Looper kill to put Louisville ahead by 11, 2 points away from keeping their season alive. We've talked about the mental fatigue that a match like this can take on players. That's certainly the point of emphasis for UNI, that this set doesn't determine their fate. They've already done the hard work of giving themselves a 2-1 lead.
But they have to make sure the biggest thing they fight through with that mental fatigue is remembering what has worked throughout this match and make sure that they're doing those things. Now, Louisville's made some in-game adjustments that have taken away some of their right side offense, so maybe they need to find a couple more tricks in their bag of ways to score going into the 5th set.
Have yourself a set. Kara Cressy. Second team All-ACC this year. But looking like an All-American in the 4th set of this second round NCAA tournament match. And look at the plaudits she receives from her teammates.
Her teammates and her coaches realize that she has been a game changer here tonight.
Set point for Louisville. We will move to a 5th set. What a response from Louisville. They needed it. And by virtue of their best blocking performance of the season, we go to 5. A match like this is why you love the NCAA tournament. Single elimination, do or die. A season's worth of work, a season's worth of blood, sweat, and tears on the line. And 2 teams that have matched the moment in every way possible in Northern Iowa and Louisville. You see their record in 5-set matches this year. Northern Iowa with a pair of 5-setters. Louisville went 5 3 times, including against the #1 team in all the land, the Pittsburgh Panthers. And a date with Purdue, the 4th seed in this quadrant, is what awaits whoever emerges victorious from what has been a sensational spectacle of volleyball here at the KFC Yum Center in Louisville, Kentucky. Steph Cantway, I'm Jeff Milby, our entire crew. We are thrilled that you are here to enjoy this 5th set with us as we are underway in a winner-take-all duel between these 2 sides. And the point to UNI right out of the gate through Cassidy Hartman.
And the momentum from that 4th set favors Louisville, but again, UNI has managed to play free all match.
Here is Louisville's leader, Anna DeBeer, putting the Cardinals on the board in set 5.
And interesting, we've talked about Anna DeBeer going back to the service line at bad times, quote unquote. This game, you see they started her in the left front to try to start this set strong.
Here's Elena Scott. A bit awkward for Northern Iowa, but they get it to Fowler for the swing. Louisville finds DeBeer. What a shot.
She has such great hand contact on this ball. When this ball's coming from behind her, line is a hard shot, but she contacts that ball with the perfect spin down the line.
Caught everyone in purple off guard, but nothing they could do about it. Rewerts the response.
Golden with a great one-handed set, and Rewerts was charging for that 1 ball.
Just the 4th kill for Rewerts, but a huge impact defensively with those 7 blocks.
And the 7 blocks don't do it justice for her. She's touched so many balls that have let the defense dig behind her.
It's been DeBeer early and often in the 5th set for Louisville. Fowler, the Missouri Valley Conference Co-Player of the Year on the other side. DeBeer again. And Fowler's. Scott behind it for the Cardinals. Looper has to set it over. Chance for UNI. They go to Fowler, and she comes through.
And you saw Louisville take the free ball to Chernigal so that she wasn't an option in the offense, but Fallards comes up strong from the left.
The noise level rises at the KFC Yum Center. DeBeer. Fallard. Now Maldonado Diaz. But a point to UNI. And Northern Iowa opening up just the hint of a gap. At 2 points over Louisville in this 1st to 15, the 5th set.
So Louisville decides not to challenge there. I think the ball actually went outside the antenna.
Louisville notably with both of their challenges. Northern Iowa gets one back after losing 2 challenges in the first 4 sets. DeBeer with the kill for Louisville to get the point back.
Glock serving again. Look for her to serve a short ball to Chernigal over here in 2 and take her out of the first swing.
It's Fallard again. Both teams going to their left side early and often in the 5th. A block for Northern Iowa. Both teams have been outstanding blocking tonight.
And Chernigal didn't get the first swing there off of serve receive, but she makes up for it with a roof of Anna DeBeer.
Eye-catching numbers in the blocking game for each of these clubs. Cressy, the off-speed, scores.
Cressy has had the hot hand on defense. I like them finding her in offense as well.
Kara Cressy, monumental in the 4th set to extend this match. Dykstra. DeBeer. Fallard. A Louisville block.
Kara Cressy and Reese Robbins on that right side have been an impenetrable combo when they know where the ball's going.
Fallard going over the block and finding success. She had to change it up.
Great
and Looper
decision.
couldn't get there quick enough.
Yes, great decision from Fallard. Looper was able to get a hand on it, but even if that ball is up, tough offensive transition from the Cardinals.
What a stat line for Northern Iowa's leading player. They can block 2. Cassidy Hartman. And it's a 2-point lead for the Panthers. Louisville taking a timeout. Is an upset brewing in the 5th set? It's Northern Iowa by 2. After the victory over Illinois in the first round last night, Kira Fallard said that this team, Northern Iowa, out-scrapped the Big Ten outfit in the Illini, and she has had a mighty scrappy performance tonight. And a reversal of the performance that she put on in the first meeting between these two back in the regular season in this building on September 14th. She has been terrific, but unfortunately for her, out of the timeout, it's a service error.
I don't think she will be easily rattled by that error. Louisville's been going after her a little bit in serve receive, and she's passed fantastic. Look for this ball to come to her right away.
It goes to Hartman. Looper goes flying. DeBeer out of the back row. Hartman again. Good reaction from Glock for Louisville. Camden Schrand into the match with a touch. Powers just gets it over. What a rally. It's Looper. Powers again. Hartman. What effort from Dykstra. Looper for Louisville, ties it at 7.
So I think we're going to have a challenge here, and it's not going to be from this final swing. It's going to be from UNI thinking that Louisville was in the net earlier in the rally. I believe it was the block of Sherman and Robbins on that right side.
And the fans realizing the potential for the challenge. But Bobby Peterson
has one challenge, but the score is 7-7. She only has one challenge, and she chose not to touch that green card.
So the point remains Louisville's as Camden Schland serves with an ace. Camden Schland, the sophomore from Villa Hills, Kentucky, gives Louisville a 1-point lead in this 5th set.
And we talked about players re-entering the match and making a difference for the Cardinals. Camden Schland had a few service errors early in this match. She didn't serve in the 4th and came back in and made a difference, just like Cressy has made a difference coming in for the block for the Cardinals.
The adjustments that Danny Busboom Kelly has made, turning to players that didn't start the match, making a big difference. Kara Cressy did start the match, and she has been incredible tonight. 7 kills on 18 swings, but 12 blocks to lead this Louisville blocking performance that is one of their best in several years. Kara Cressy, an outstanding time to have her career high. 12 blocks for the redshirt junior from Fort Wayne.
And you mentioned her starting. I think in the middle position, starting versus not starting isn't always quite as important. Every time that she's re-entered the match off the bench in her rotations, she has made a difference immediately.
The most blocks Louisville has had in over 8 years. The defensive identity of this team, the MO of the Louisville Cardinal volleyball program on full display in the NCAA tournament. The season on the line, and both teams have put it all on the line. They've left it all on the court here at the KFC Yum Center this evening.
And you look at the excitement and the fun and the intensity from the UNI team coming back in there, and then look at this crowd. There should not be anyone seated at this moment in this match.
The energy has been high. Danny Busboom Kelly said it was a quiet Louisville crowd last night for the victory over Chicago State. Well, they've made a healthy noise today, and so too have those UNI faithful behind the Panther bench. 8-7 with the season on the line. And Hartman ties it.
Cassidy Hartman again threading that needle between the blockers.
14th kill of the night for Cassidy Hartman, second behind Fowlers for the team lead after she had 21. Hartman did a night ago. And Taryn Rice into the match here to serve for Northern Iowa. Looper had to go with the left hand for that one. Hartman off the block to score.
I actually liked that ball from Louisville being tight to the net from Looper. I think she's got to get her feet there and try to play that ball off the block. Great swing from Hartman on the outside.
And Northern Iowa back in with the lead. Point for point. These two teams will not flinch. Certainly not the Panthers. Lily Dykstra raises her arms to the sky in celebration for that block.
Danny Busboom Kelly is going to challenge a net violation here. It was just, she has 2 challenges, and so this could be a makeshift timeout. She has something to challenge. The ball, well, the tape did move. I thought that the ball hit the tape.
Challenging a net fault. Original call is no net fault.
The net definitely moved during the play. I thought in real time that the ball hit the tape, but they're challenging to see if it was one of the blockers.
As you said, Louisville with 2 challenges. So even if this challenge
Call
isn't
on the
upheld,
floor is confirmed. No net fault. Louisville loses the challenge.
the quickest of reviews for Michael O'Connor.
And I think the officials have done a good job of making it a point that a review in the 5th set, if it can be quick, is quick, so that it doesn't slow down the momentum and the pace of the game.
Absolutely. So it remains a point to Northern Iowa. DeBeer to Looper. Scott flying down. Chance here for the Panthers. They go to Hartman. And Hartman finds the floor.
We've talked about Hartman loving the seam in the block in the line. That time she makes an adjustment to what's given to her and goes cross.
Northern Iowa, a big step toward advancing to the regional semifinal for the first time in 22 years. They've got a 3-point lead over the #1 seed. And they've nearly taken a step toward a date with Purdue.
And that's a Purdue team that nobody wants to see in the Sweet 16. Fantastic outside hitters, Ava Hudson, Chloe Chacoin. They're such a dynamic offense, firing out of the middle, and no one wants to see them in the Sweet 16. But at this point, either of these teams just wants to get to that match.
You see Anna DeBeer leading the Louisville huddle. Her career is on the line. The 5th-year graduate student returning to this Cardinal program because she knew she had the opportunity to lead Louisville to a national title. The one thing that has eluded them during her time in red and black. They have won everything else they could possibly win except a national championship. And you see what it means. The emotional leader of this team with the last word as Louisville breaks the huddle in the timeout. Can they forge a comeback trail? Or will Northern Iowa pull off a shocking upset and advance to the regional semifinal? It has been a terrific display all evening. Both teams, electric volleyball. And the Panthers of Northern Iowa are 4 points away as Rice serves. Looper out of the timeout. And you see Looper's emotions, fiery as ever, trying to will Louisville back into this set.
Caballo now in to serve for Louisville, and Maldonado Diaz back in the front row. Look for this ball to go to Dykstra on the right side for the Panthers.
It does go to Dykstra, but Sherman is there to meet it for Louisville. The pancake for Maldonado Diaz with her right hand, incredible. Dykstra again, an attack error. Another point to the Cardinals to pull them to within 1.
And what do we expect to see down the stretch here but fantastic defense, pancakes, blocks. The defense and the blocking has really been the story of this match.
Look at this effort from Sofia Maldonado Diaz, the transfer from Arizona, using that extra year of eligibility to join this Louisville program. The NCAA tournament brings out the best in players.
100%, and that replay, we saw the hitting error by Dykstra, but that's still credit to our point of the blocking and the defense. When that block is just shutting people down, as a hitter, you start to work around the block, and that leads to some hitting errors.
This crowd has been whipped into a frenzy by what they've seen. The stakes could not be higher. And neither could the energy in the KFC Yum Center.
If you weren't a volleyball fan before tonight, you are now if you are watching this match.
It has been engrossing. It has been entertaining. It has been filled with drama. And you cannot take your eyes off it. Kirsten Bernthal Booth looks more nervous than she did at any point last night when her Creighton team swept Ole Miss. Her daughter Reese Booth, a setter for this Northern Iowa team.
I think it's harder to be a fan after having been a coach or been a player. I think it's harder to be the fan and know you don't have control over the outcome and you just have to watch and be mom.
A 1-point margin. As Nialise Cabello, the ACC Freshman of the Year, serves for Louisville. Cassidy Hartman. Scott calls for it. It'll go to Looper. Hartman again. It's a block for the Cardinals.
I would have liked Charity Looper to take a swing at this ball, but she gives UNI a free ball and puts her faith in the block of Hannah Sherman and Maldonado Diaz and trusts her teammates. What a play.
Sherman with 7 blocks last night to lead Louisville. She's got 4 tonight. Has made an impact, though. Changing the momentum on several occasions. Dykstra, a huge swing. Scott gets there, but it hit the floor. Appeals from Louisville. Groans from the crowd. The point goes to Northern Iowa for now. Does Danny Busboom-Kelly challenge? It appears that she will not.
Maldonado shook her head no, that she did not get this. She gave full effort, but she did not touch this ball. Great quality swing from Dykstra on the right side.
Maldonado Diaz was late to it. Credit to the effort, though. Here she is offensively with the swing to tie it again.
Right here, great set by freshman setter Caballo, giving no block for Maldonado Diaz on the 2-ball.
12-12. Awkward from Hartman, but she'll get it over here with the right hand. Touched back to Northern Iowa. Hartman a chance to swing, and Hartman scores off the high hands.
Fantastic work there from Hartman. She got the first ball over, but then worked so hard on her transition to make sure she was able to swing at that second ball for the kill.
A balanced offensive attack by Northern Iowa. Louisville's defense has led them in a come-from-behind effort to force 5. Fowler off Looper's face for the Northern Iowa point. Cabello and Looper got crossed up defensively for Louisville, and Northern Iowa can win it here.
This ball is going to Anna DeBeer at the pin for Louisville.
Mikota serves. Service error. Still match point.
And look who is entering the game for Louisville. Kara Cressy back to the front row for the block. And on the flip side, Chernigal can be a first swing option for the Panthers on the right side.
Elena Scott serves for Louisville. Cressy nearly pulls off the block, but Northern Iowa keeps it alive. A chance for the Cardinals here. They go to DeBeer. It's down, and Louisville has tied it.
DeBeer got the kill there, but credit to Cressy for coming in this match again and stopping the middle offense from UNI.
14-14. A block! DeBeer and Cressy.
This ball was going to Chernigal, and Anna DeBeer being front row, determined to take this Cardinals team to the next round. We do have a quick pause here because Chernigal did catch the block to the face, but she is fully recovered and ready for the next point.
Determination In the face of Anna DeBeer, Louisville a chance to win it.
Let's go!
Chernigal!
That was just the broken play Louisville wanted off of a not perfect serve receive. And who else but Chernigal to find a weird way to score tonight.
She led them early. She scores late to tie it at 15 in the 5th set. Here's Anna DeBeer for Louisville. Cabello to DeBeer again, and a Northern Iowa block.
Chernigal and Seller know this ball's going to Anna DeBeer, and Chernigal finishes so well back into the court and does not allow DeBeer to get a tool.
Northern Iowa could win it with a point here. They won't have the chance. Bobby Peterson saying it's all right. Trying to keep her team's emotions in check, keep their heads in this match. They've kept their head the entire night.
Chernigal and Fowler, both options for UNI here out of this serve receive.
Block serves. Fowler blocked!
And Kara Cressy got that block, but who just entered this game? PK coming in for Reese Robbins, playing out of position, on the right side, and making a difference right away as she enters the match.
6'6" and 6'4" up to challenge that ball. Louisville can win it here. Look at Scott. She'll just have to get this over, though. Chernigal! There is no backing down from either of these teams.
Chernigal rotates out here as Reese Booth comes in to serve.
Reese Booth amid a wave of noise. Anna DeBeer.
Reese Booth with a fantastic dig.
DeBeer again off hands to score for Louisville.
And Dykstra's had a great night out on the right side offensively for the Panthers. That might be the one difference with Dykstra out blocking. Chernigal has done such a good job of pushing the ball back into the middle of the court. Dykstra needs to follow suit.
A point would send the Cardinals to the regional semifinal to face Purdue next week. Fowler. Scott the dig, Cressy the touch. Great reactions from Northern Iowa. Fowler again. Charity Looper.
Reese Booth with another huge dig.
Chance for Louisville. Charity Looper. Attack error. Neither team giving an inch.
Elena Scott's mom watches from the crowd.
The intensity written on the face of Danny Busboom Kelly. Service error.
Cressy leaves the match. Camden Schran comes in to serve, which puts Hannah Sherman front row. PK still front row on the block. Dykstra and Hartman at the pins for the Panthers.
Hartman. Was it touched? It was. It's a point to Northern Iowa, despite the cheers from the crowd.
The ball landed out, but definite touch off that huge Louisville block of Sherman and Kong.
This has been incredible. Another service error. Northern Iowa, if they do not advance, will be kicking themselves for this spat of service errors in the 5th set.
I believe that is the 4th serve that UNI has missed when they've had the advantage serving.
Match point Louisville. Northern Iowa goes to Hartman, and Hartman succeeds, tooling the block.
Game of inches here. Fantastic touch by the Louisville block. Hartman, we've talked about her threading the needle in that seam, and off the block on the line is able to tool the block in that kill.
Charity Looper scores for Louisville.
And like that set being tighter to the net, and Looper is able to get up and go over that block. A couple of the sets down the stretch here from Louisville have led their outside hitters off the block. I would love to see them keep them tighter here to score off hands.
The Louisville fans can feel it. A point puts Louisville into the regional semifinal. Cassidy Hartman, sit back. Can UNI get it over? And it's a beer ends it. Louisville survives and advances.
What a match. Such a battle. Happy for the Cardinals to have won, but the UNI Panthers showed that they belonged in this tournament.
A valiant effort from Bobby Peterson's Northern Iowa Panthers. The heart of a champion on full display from the champions of the Missouri Valley Conference. But in the end, the #1 seed, Louisville, emerges an instant classic in the 2nd round of this 2024 NCAA Volleyball Championship.
And the NCAA tournament is where legends are made. I think Chernigal and Cressy are now household volleyball names.
You can see the emotion on the faces of those Louisville Cardinal players. Anna DeBeer overcome to tears. Ellie Glock also in that huddle with tears of joy. Such is the emotion of the NCAA tournament. And there is all the confirmation Louisville needs. The #1 seed advances to face Purdue here in Louisville, Kentucky next weekend in the regional semifinal. What an incredible match of volleyball we just got to see, Steph, can't wait.
I think that's all you can say. Fantastic battle. This is why we love the NCAA tournament.
Indeed it is. Drama to the very last drop. But that'll do it for us. Louisville advances in 5 over Northern Iowa. For Steph Cantway, Bobby Blankenship, our producer, and our entire Nest crew, which is the very best crew, I'm Jeff Milby. So long.